Someday in the future, we'll produce an in-depth video about the German air-transportable weapons carrier known as the Wiesel. However, for today's video, we wanted to focus on the cancellation of its replacement. Sure, it's old news that first came to light back in November 2024, but, well, as with so many old stories that emerged before our channel even existed, we thought it might be fun to cover anyway. So, let's look at Germany's cancelled Luftbeweglichen Waffenträger project. In a previous video, we looked at Germany's 1 Airborne Brigade and some of the equipment it used. Included was the Wiesel, both the Wiesel 1 and Wiesel 2. Both of these are lightly armoured, tracked air transportable platforms used in various roles, ranging from infantry fighting vehicle to anti-tank platform to medivac. With their various roles, you might consider this the German baby M113. Again, we'll get more in depth with the Wiesel in a future video, but their relevance to today's topic is that the Wiesel 1 entered service in 1979 and was produced up until the early 1990s. The total number of Wiesel 1s produced, about 345. The Wiesel 2 entered service in 2001, and it's understood that no more than 180 of these vehicles were produced. And so, as you can expect, things get old and worn down and eventually need replacing, particularly those first-generation Wiesel vehicles. That's where our Luftbeweglichen Waffenträger, or air mobile weapon carrier, comes in. Digging up an old 2021 edition of the Bundeswehr magazine, Wehrtechnik, page 13 had this to say about the project, translated from German. Pre-cancellation, of course. For the successful execution of its operations, airborne combat and operational vehicles are required. The current vehicles urgently need replacing. The overall Airborne Platforms project was created for this purpose. Future cargo drop systems are planned with 2 basic systems that can be deployed at different altitudes and using different drop procedures, enabling low vibration landings as a prerequisite for dropping fragile loads and vehicles. The ability to drop vehicles is an essential capability requirement for increasing operational effectiveness, which the Bundeswehr has lacked to date. The goal is to equip the next generation with a uniform platform. This platform will only be differentiated into 2 versions, short or long, and various equipment sets. According to current plans, the Rapid Forces Division will be equipped with airborne platforms starting in 2027. The air mobile weapon carriers require separate consideration. These will likely be implemented as tracked vehicles. The air mobile weapon carriers are being planned in 2 variants. Currently, the integration of a 27mm autocannon, a MELS multiple launcher, an active and split track system, and an electric drive are among the features being investigated. Certainly putting my ability to pronounce German words to the test, MELS is a German acronym which stands for Mehrrollenfähiges leichtes Landflugkörpersystem, which in English means multi-role light guided missile system. And so we can see that the Bundeswehr wanted to retain the same type of air mobility and force projection offered by the old Wiesels. The Luftbeweglichen Waffenträger, which we'll just call LuWa from here, was the solution, or at least the name of the project meant to offer a solution. Reporting from Hartpunkt notes that the size limit for the future vehicles was specified to be no more than 4.2 meters in length, 1.87 meters height, and 1.9 meters width. This would ensure the vehicle could be transported within a Chinook heavy transport helicopter. The permissible total mass of the air vehicle was to be 5 tons, while the combat mass was limited to a maximum of 4.5 tons. The required sustained speed on level roads was specified as 90 km per hour, with high mobility in rough terrain and a specific ground pressure of less than 5 newtons per square centimeter. And so from here, we turn to an October 20th, 2021 write-up by German conglomerate IABG. The article's title in English, A Complete System Demonstrator for a Future Air Mobile Weapon Carrier, or GSD LuWa, was presented to representatives of the Federal Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces Procurement Organization. The IABG article says that on October 14, 2021, a functional presentation on the current status of the LuWa R&D project was held. Representatives from the German Federal Ministry of Defense and the Federal Office of Bundeswehr Equipment, Information Technology and In-Service Support were present. During the presentation, IABG demonstrated the LuWa in specific driving situations, during firing demonstrations, and in the detonation of a prototype vehicle hull. IABG, acting as a product-neutral general contractor on behalf of the Bundeswehr's procurement organization, said that this was a milestone reached in the project, which had been running since April 2020. It was noted that the German companies ACS and FFG, as well as Valhalla turrets from Slovenia, were integrated into the project as partners. IABG wanted to focus on several features for the LuWa: a 27mm autocannon to increase combat range and effectiveness, a diesel-electric hybrid drive for low-speed operation, and a split and leveling track system for air transport and emergency operation. Requirements were to be demonstrated under the constraints of a weapon platform air transportable by the CH-53 medium transport helicopter. According to plans at the time, the LuWa was to be transferred to a Bundeswehr unit in Trier for further testing at the beginning of 2022. So that was late 2021, and about 3 years later, in late 2024, we would get this article from German media outlet Hartpunkt reporting that the project was cancelled. In the article, Hartpunkt said that it had learned from various well-informed sources that the project was being abandoned because the offer from the potential LuWa supplier was reportedly significantly higher than the available budget of the Bundeswehr. Intensive negotiations regarding possible cost-cutting solutions had apparently failed to produce an agreement, and a spokesperson for the Bundeswehr organization declined to comment on the matter, citing procurement law reasons. So that's where things seem to have been left when it comes to the LuWa. The Bundeswehr's initial plan was to procure a total of 56 LuWa Mk-IFVs, 24 anti-tank missile systems or MELs, and 9 driver training vehicles. Hartpunkt, in its analysis of the situation in 2024, noted the following potential options. 1. Abandoning the organic capability for direct tactical fire support in the paratrooper and mountain infantry roles. 2. A relaunch of a LuWa tender with a larger budget. 3. The modernization of the current Wiesel 1 fleet. And 4. Implementing capability of direct tactical fire support on another platform, for example an unmanned ground vehicle or the wheeled airborne platform Caracal. But as far as we know, there hasn't yet been an alternate plan announced for replacing the Wiesel 1, about 1.5 years since the news of the project's cancellation. The most relevant news we have on this front comes from the German site Gefechtsklar, which reported in late 2025 that the Caracal would be replacing the Wiesel 2 in parts of its roles. As we've learned from tracking various procurements, it's all about priorities, and perhaps the lack of news on this front is an indication that many higher priorities exist for Germany's armed forces, whether it's mobile artillery, modernizing various armored platforms, developing attack drone and counter-drone/air defense systems, etc. After all, we have to remember that the LuWa program came before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and a lot has been learned about modern conflict since that war began. The perceived enemy has changed as well, moving from fighting insurgents in distant corners of the world to defending Europe from a near-peer adversary. One final big-picture thought that we could add is that the Russian Tiger was similarly designed to be a lightly armored air-transportable vehicle, but as we've seen in Ukraine, the platform has suffered high losses, not just from drones but even simple anti-tank weapons. Thus, we don't really need to explain that air transportability comes at a cost to survivability on the battlefield. The decision-makers at the Bundeswehr may just have come to the realization that the platform is just not worth developing, beyond the Caracal, in light of the modern threats it would face. But what do you think of the scrapped LuWa program and the impending end of service of the Wiesel 1s? Let us know by leaving a comment.